Council meeting is now in session. Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. And we will find the agenda up here. And we're going to get this thing rolling. We're going to have a very interesting night tonight. It's going to be a night of celebration, and thank you all for coming here. I especially appreciate it being sworn in for real tonight as mayor. Right, Brenda?
Right.
Okay. We're going to start the Pledge of Allegiance, and to do that, we're going to have a veteran up here by the name of Mr. Danny Nelson, a good friend of ours. He's Specialist 4, or Corporal Danny Nelson, served in the United States Army from 1967 to 1969. Mr. Nelson toured in Vietnam from 1968 to 1969. Before serving in Vietnam, he trained in Fort Bliss, Texas, on World War II anti-aircraft weapons. Then was sent to Vietnam, where he served as a Jeep driver for the Searchlight Battery. Danny said he was blessed by God to come home to see my 7-month-old son, who was born while serving my country. Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson, and will you please give the Pledge of Allegiance?
Do it at the mic, or does it matter? Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we give Mr. Nelson a hand? And, Ashley, are there any other veterans out there in the audience? I know of one. There's 2 more. Let's give them a hand as well. Mayor Pro Tem DeVetti is now going to give our invocation.
If everyone would please bow your head. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this season of the year. Help us all to remember the sacrifice you made so that we may have eternal life. As we reflect on the past year and look forward to the road ahead, we thank you for leading us and guiding us to the best of our ability. Your word in James 1:25 reminds us that whoever works intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Lord, we are blessed in what we do. As we gather here tonight, we are grateful for all those who have served, who are serving, and who will come to serve this community. I thank you for the opportunity to work for the town of Summerfield. Service does not come without sacrifice, but the blessings far outweigh the challenges. Guide us and lead us into the new year. Help us keep you at the center of our vision and our decisions. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We'll now introduce ourselves. I'm going to start on the far left. Ms. Rucker.
Leah Rucker, Town Clerk.
Jeff Bacon, Deputy Clerk.
John Doggett.
Heath Clay.
Lynn Williams Devaney.
Lee Haywood.
John Hamilton.
Ashley Anderson, Town Attorney.
Wig Rollins, Town Manager.
Janelle Robinson will not be in attendance tonight, and a while later I'm going to give her a little bit of recognition, but she will be missed, and I miss her right now, actually. So thank you, Ms. Robinson, wherever you are, for your service to the community. Adoption of the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to move that we adopt the agenda with the following changes. Add 7F, the budget amendment. Remove 8A in its entirety. Remove 9H, the SMARS contract from new business. The appointment to the subcommittee for interviewing board and committee applicants will be added as M under new business in 9. Move public information officer from 7E to N under new business in 9. That's it. That's my motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries with those changes that Mr. Hamilton made. Announcements and recognitions. We'll start to the left, Mr. Doggett.
Not here, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, none?
I do have some.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Let's see. I just wanted to remind everybody that the Stokesdale Christmas Parade is this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock. And it is, again, in Stokesdale. Arrive around 1 if you're part of the parade. Otherwise, line up around 1 so you can get a great seat to get some candy from all the parade entrants. On Monday, December 15th, the Finance Committee will have a meeting at 6 o'clock at Town Hall. And the next couple of dates are changes due to the Christmas holiday. Wednesday, December 17th at 6 will be the Trails and Open Space Committee at Town Hall. And Thursday, December 18th, the Summerfield Men's Coffee and Conversation will be at 9 o'clock at the Community Center. There's one more due to a change. I apologize if it wasn't in order. The History Committee will be at Town Hall on December the 18th at 6 p.m. as well. The Rural Outreach Luncheon will be at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, December the 18th. Call Town Hall for details on that one. And the Board of Adjustment has been canceled for December. On Monday, December the 22nd, the Planning Board meeting has been canceled as well. And Town Hall will be closed for the holidays, December 24th through the 26th. And then our next Town Council meeting will be Tuesday, January the 13th, here at the Community Center at 6:30. That's all.
Mr. Hamilton?
I just want to thank everyone that came out for our Christmas tree lighting. It was a very fun event. There was a huge line for Santa. People were gathered around, the fire pit was going on, kids were playing. It was just a lot of fun. And so again, thank you to all those that participated and made this a wholesome family event.
Yeah, I guess I'll finish it up. I failed to mention last time at the last meeting that I did attend the Veterans Day event at Carolina Field of Honor on November 11th. It was a very well done event. It was a little bit chilly, but everybody survived, and thank God, and really appreciate the veterans in our country. I was honored to participate in the Summerfield Christmas tree lighting on November 22nd, and I'm looking forward to this Saturday. Hope y'all can come out for the Stokesdale Christmas parade. It starts at 2. I've started a blog called Haywood for Summerfield. It's Haywood, the number 4, Summerfield. It's going to be a positive outlet for me to speak about the goings on in our town. I would like for it to be a forum for positive feedback, and thank you in advance for participating. I will let anybody join, and as soon as there's a negative comment, you will be blocked. So this is going to be a positive forum for Summerfield. It's long overdue and very much needed. That's Haywood for Summerfield, and it's up and running right now. And that's my announcements. And we'll go to public comments. We have Dick Palmer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I want to speak about the Laughlin School and the budget amendments. I attended the Finance Committee meeting 2 weeks ago tonight, and also your special meeting last week here about the Laughlin School. And frankly, at this point, I'm ambivalent about what the right thing to do is regarding that school. You ask why? Simply because we don't have enough information. You don't have enough information to make a good decision at this point in time. I worked for industry for a large Swiss company for almost 40 years. And I can assure you that if we made a decision based on the information we have here about a financial involvement as large as this, somebody would be losing their job. Okay? I honestly believe that a go to no-go decision should require the following things. First, I believe you need to have an update of all the assessments that have done in the past. They're 3 or 4 years old, and who knows what has happened since then. There may be some additional things that may come up, number one. Number two, both a capital budget and an operating budget for at least the next 10 years should be developed for that project. Finance Committee recommended 5 years. I think 10 years is more appropriate because it's going to take probably 4 or 5 years if you purchase a project to get it up and running. Okay? I think an accurate projection on how many employees it's going to take to run that facility the way we want it run is important. I think it's a pipe dream to think one person is all you need. I think it's going to take, personally think it's going to take more than that. Okay. I'm sure that Mr. Cole and the Davenport group are very good financial advisors. Based on what they said here last week, I have a lot of confidence they would really give us the type of advice that we would need to make a decision on how to finance the project if we do go forward. But at this point, I think it would be a mistake to hire them. I think to do that, you're putting the plow in front of the horse. You don't know whether you're going to be able to buy it yet, whether it's something that we want to invest in, that it has the qualities and things that we can do. I think the time to do that is after you get all the information you need. Okay, $110,000. Do you realize that is that's 10% of our total property tax we get from 1 year? If you look at the additional $300,000 you're adding for budget, for finance, for legal purposes, we're spending almost 50% of our property tax on legal fees and on these special things. So my property taxes were increased 80% last year.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer.
Can I just, I only got about 10 seconds more.
10 seconds, hurry up.
Okay. 80% this year, 120% over the last 4 years. And it's disappointing to me as a citizen that we cannot balance our budget without going into our reserves.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Thank you. Next we have Ms. Gelden. I'm sorry, and I failed to mention, you're supposed to, you have 3 minutes, and you're supposed to mention where you reside, and that's okay. Everybody knows Mr. Palmer.
Gail Donald, 5805 Snail Hill Drive. I don't like anything that's going on. And I really dislike that we can't have any public commitment, that you can't have any public participation in anything that you do. You've gone through $6-7 million in reserves. I don't know if you've looked at your budget lately, but you are spending in this fiscal year more than you are taking in. The minutes, I think the minutes are a mess. They look like an attendance record. We don't get any information. It takes 4 or 5 months sometimes to get them. There's all kinds of documents that we don't have as far as Bandera. I do not think you should vote on Bandera tonight. I think that you should release the 3 bids. At least let the citizens see the 3 bids to see what they are. I'm real tired of you approving stuff and maybe posting it after the meeting. And this is too important. It should be noted, August 9th, 22, that the Guilford County Board gave the town another $2.3 million grant for Bandera. And now you only want to do the grant. I've heard this, and you postponed it. You procrastinated terribly. That's why the price went up. And now Bandera is going to be a shell. It has 1 drinking fountain, 2 men's, 2 women's washrooms. You could have 100 people there in an event. I want to see all of the bids, and I want every penny put into Bandera. You had a $500,000 grant. You said, well, we'll just use that to retire the debt. I'm very opposed to 7E, the appointment of a public information officer. This is a direct violation of taking away our freedom of speech, our basic fundamental constitutional right, where there's only 1 person that can speak for the town. And I'm sorry, you're a retired, or you were a fraudulent mattress salesman, and when we talk about it, it's just something that's there. And I don't think you should be the only spokesperson. We have to go through you for everything. I don't like that at all. I'm tired to the high zoning. Would you please just comply with the public record request? You're spending $1 million on the water tower. You're gonna spend $6 million and you're refusing to comply with the public record request. Everything in the public record request, it's our money and it's our water. And there's a lot of questions about what you're doing. You're gonna commingle and destroy existing wells. No one is selling us water. You're approving, the manager's all in there, just approve the high density for that recent development. No concern about the people that live there and their wells will be harmed. And you're also using eminent domain to condemn property. When you approved it, I was opposed to using eminent domain, and I'd like to give credit to a prior council who said they would not use eminent domain. You're using eminent domain to take property
Thank you, Ms.
for
Dunham.
phase 1 of a mystery project.
Thank you, Ms.
There's a
Dunham.
lot more,
Thank
and
you,
I
Ms. Dunham.
deeply
Thank you, Ms.
resent that we
Dunham.
don't get
Thank you,
any
Ms.
time.
Dunham. Thank you. All right, now we have Teresa Perry.
Teresa Perryman, 7401 Green Lawn Drive. Maybe if you give us back our 5 minutes, you wouldn't have to be gaveling. However, the first thing I want to talk to is about Laughlin. Y'all were going to borrow money to get this project done. People don't even know that you're borrowing money. The special call meetings that y'all had, way too many. Is just to borrow money, and that was nothing but just protocol, stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp. Now my understanding is, you know, it sat for 3.5 years since y'all first requested anything about this. And maybe just stop so y'all can put the 3 o'clock. I would love to talk for 10 minutes, but 3 minutes, please. Thank you, Davey.
You got 3 minutes.
So, you know, that's fine. But, you know, I know why y'all are interested in it again is because y'all heard that David Couch was interested in it. Yes, David Couch is interested in it because he wants to put in an outlet for his Greensboro project over there. So, y'all gotta hurry up and borrow money because we don't have any money. Y'all wanna borrow the money to buy this just so y'all can keep it from David Couch from buying it. But y'all don't realize y'all are not letting him have his outlet to get to 220. And so because of that, it's just gonna push more traffic on Pleasant Ridge and 150 and back these 2 roads up to where it won't be long. Y'all are gonna be having to double those lanes coming out. It's a ridiculous idea. David Couch would not tear down Laughlin. It's just ridiculous how y'all wanna spend our money. The agenda is way too long for a December meeting, especially on election year. And let's go back to the 5 cents that y'all started charging back in June at the budget. A lot of people don't know this, but General Statute 136-42.2 states, in order to receive federal funding, you have to charge your citizens 5 cents. Wonder where the 5 cents came from. I believe that's what we went up to. You more than almost doubled our taxes, and I'm still not sure y'all didn't violate the charter on that. Y'all need to read the charter and see what it says about doubling taxes. And I think, actually, that will be all, thank you. I went in 3 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Perryman. Hope you get the feeling better.
It's just laryngitis.
Is anybody else? Going once, twice, anybody else? Okay, that's it. Thank you for the speakers coming out tonight. We appreciate your input. There's no public hearing scheduled tonight, so we'll go to administrative and board committee reports. I guess we'll start at emergency services report.
The Summerfield Fire District reported the following for November 2025: fire-related calls 28, EMS-related calls 73, other calls 40, for a total of 141 calls. They installed 5 child safety seats. The Griffin County Sheriff's Department reported the following for November 2025: total calls of 219, calls resulting in case reports are 18. On 11/2, deputies took a report of a commercial break-in and entering of a business in the 4200 block of Hamburg Mill Road. The case remains under investigation. And on 11/30, deputies took 2 reports of residential break-in and entering that occurred over the Thanksgiving weekend in both the 7,000 block of Blacksmith Court and the 7,600 block of Graylands Drive. Both cases remain under investigation. That is all.
Now we have financial reports. Who's giving the financial report?
They're just in our packet.
Okay, so any discussion on those?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other board or committee reports?
They're in the packet, no discussion.
Okay. And we will move on to the consent agenda. All those in favor of the consent, approving the items on the consent agenda with the modifications that Mr. Hamilton made, removing 7E and adding 7F. Is that right, Mr. Hamilton?
Leaving 7E,
And adding 7F,
yes.
signify,
I'll make.
you want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, Ms. Devane?
Yes, please. I'll make the motion that we approve the consent agenda as written with the exceptions of striking 7E and adding 7F. 7E will be moved to new business.
Is there a second? Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Who was that?
Me.
Mr.
Mr.
Doggett.
Doggett. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Old business, we have stricken the approval of the tolling agreement, which brings us to new business, the certification of the 2025 municipal election, and we will hear from Leah Rucker, our town clerk.
The town of Summerfield has received the certification of the election results from the Guilford County Board of Elections. For the position of mayor, Lee Haywood was elected, and for the 2 council seats, Kyle Stalls and John Doggett were elected.
Very good. And that brings us to the oaths of office. And for that, we have brought in our district, our representative, John Bluss, who I've known for quite a few years. John, we appreciate you coming here tonight to do this, and I'm honored that you will be administering the oath. So I guess, who's going to go first? Is that me? I'm going to go first. Brandon, can you come on up? I think she's got one.
Go ahead and move to the middle of the line, the chorus.
Can this be an official meeting without Don Wendell?
I'm missing him, really. He was picking on it. Hey, you know you're supposed to break that up and not do it all at once. I understand.
I state your name.
I state your name. I, Lee Haywood,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina,
and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government
all
thereof,
right, you're going to have to write that up, all right,
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
to the constitutional powers and authority
which are or may be established for the government
which
thereof,
are or may be established to the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution,
that I will, say it again,
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the laws of said
and
state,
the laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution
not
of the
in
United
consistence
States,
with the Constitution of the United States.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
To the best of my knowledge and ability, I swear
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as town council member.
And I will faithfully, say that again.
Faithfully discharge the duties of my office as town council
I will
member.
faithfully discharge the duties of my office in the town of Somerville, mayor of the town of Somerville.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You're official.
Thank you, Sean. Thank y'all. There's nothing easy about Somerville. Oak Ridge, all they have to do is I do. We
If
have
y'all
to,
really want to do it, I'll do it. I'll just.
no. Everybody else has to do it.
They watch the court.
Yeah. If I have to do it, everybody else has to. Okay. Next.
Yep.
Have somebody to hold it.
Here I come. You got a little bit.
I didn't anticipate this, so I didn't get to put the words down. I put them down, I didn't anticipate it.
I state your name,
I, John Doggett,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina, that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of North
and
Carolina,
bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina,
and to the constitutional powers and
to
authorities
the constitutional power and authorities,
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
which are or may be established by the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution
and laws of said state,
and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
and to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
as town council member,
as town council member,
so help me God.
so help me God.
That's it. You're there. You're official.
Is Kyle somewhere out there in the audience?
He's back there.
Last but very much not least, we have Kyle Stalls. And I should have, Cindy and Michael, while they're coming up, my sister and her husband are in the back. Cindy and Michael, thank y'all for coming. And I should have y'all come up here and give me support, but that's okay. They're supporting me from back.
I'm a sister.
I'm a little better at
I state your name,
I, Kyle Stalls,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina,
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution
and the laws of said state,
and the laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
as town council member,
as town council member,
so help me God.
so help me God.
That's it.
Mr. Stalls, once you, Councilman Stalls, once you put that baby down, you got a place to sit up. Cover off. While he's coming up, I'm going to take a point of personal privilege. I want to thank the citizens of Summerfield for allowing me to represent them as the mayor for the next couple of years. It's an honor that I'll carry to my grave and carry with pride for the rest of my life. Thanks to all who voted for me, and I promise to work hard for all the citizens, even the 154 that did not vote for me, that wrote in other names, which includes my wife, Brenda. Thanks to all who are here to witness this tonight. Thank you to Janelle Robinson for her service. I hate that she's not here tonight to celebrate with us. I look forward to serving with Kyle. Look forward to it. Thank you, Brenda, for always supporting me. And thank you, God, for everything you've given me. Thank you very much. Mr. Doggett or Mr. Stalzy, I want to say anything?
John will get the floor to you first.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You good? I'm new, so I'll just give special thanks to my wife Lauren and my son Staten and daughter Peyton, who are up here with me. Campaigning was a slog. It was very difficult, but they were with me through it, and we're glad to be on the other side of that. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think that Summerfield is in a very strong position, and I think the future is pretty bright for us.
With that, we're going to go into a 30-minute recess for public reception, and it's going to be a hard stop. So after 30 minutes, we're going to re-adjourn. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment for 30 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a motion to adjourn for a brief recess for a reception for new council for 30 minutes?
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, very good. Is there any adjournment, we don't need discussion. So with that being said, we are adjourned.
Recess.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.
Sort of.
Tell me what to do.
Cooperative extension.
Hang out, Lou. Hang out. Okay. I want to do a good signature. Today's the, ninth. Yeah. All right, the tone signifies that we are ready to go back into session. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we go back into open session from recess.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. We are back in session. And with that being said, we are going to get a legislative update from our friend John Bluss. Everybody give Mr. Bluss a hand, please.
Thank you. And really, before I start, I want to say something more personal than legislative in that this has been a rough second half of a year for me. In June, I blew out a disc in my back, and I've never been in that kind of pain before. I used to think I was tough, and I found out I really can't take it. And it was 11 days of basically just laying there until an operation finally got approved. The insurance company wasn't going to approve it, and I could not function. Couldn't do anything really but lay there waiting and dreading getting up again just to go to the bathroom or brushing my teeth. But as I lay there, I did remember something I once heard motivational expert Zig Ziglar say. He said, "On a clear day, you can only see the stars from the bottom of a deep pit." And sometimes, just when things around you look the darkest, that's when God might be about to show you some of the most amazing revelations. And I think the real revelation was finding out really just how small I am. Because I could do nothing. And that how much that what we have is simply what we've been blessed with. And I've been blessed with excellent health all my life, and suddenly things I thought I had, ability, accomplishment, just was gone. And I realized everything I have is really, it can be gone in an instant, and you just have what you're blessed with. And I do think I've been blessed to get to represent people, get to represent this area. Great people, great town. Think the same of Oak Ridge and Stokesdale and other places in the district. It's a big honor, and I hope I can have wisdom to represent them well. And as far as a legislative update, and a lot of people I don't think understand this. They think we're more like Congress, although Congress gets more time off than they're there. But we're a temporary body, and we basically got out of session in early July. A few times we've gone back for something. So everything's really is on hold right now until we just finish the long session, where most of the things that happen, that's when it's got to happen. The short session that will come up in May and June is usually smaller things and a smaller universe of what can be considered. And any local bills to be eligible in the short session have to have unanimous support from the local delegation. So that would be hard to do some of the things that I might want to do. Where we are, big update, is the budget. We don't have a final budget yet. Now, we're not like the federal government where everything's got to stop. Most things carry over automatically, but big changes on it, like teacher raises, state employee raises, that kind of thing, are on hold until we get a budget, and I've got some theories as to why. And the hardest thing about being a House member, and I think all 120 House members, including the Democrats, would say the most difficult thing of being in the House is dealing with the Senate. They're a completely different body, and it's hard to get them to want to consider things that they don't want. And right now, they don't want the House budget because we have in law, and I wasn't there when this happened, they put triggers for future tax cuts based on if we have so much revenue as a state, that cut automatically goes into effect. And the House, we've already been told we're going to have tight budgets in 27 and 28, and we don't want these automatic cuts to go in until we see what kind of revenue we're going to need. That just seems prudent to me. If you know your expenses are going up, you don't cut your income until you know you can afford it. But the Senate, for some reason, is dug in. I worry that it's got something to do with, hey, the answer to all this is going to be casinos and marijuana and other things. That's just what I suspect. But I think the House position is right, that if we get to those years and we can cut taxes, we can vote for it. When the Republicans first took control in 2011, after a century or two, we cut taxes, but we just cut them. We didn't have some mechanism, and nothing will stop us from going ahead but we want to do the prudent thing. The other thing that's hung up is the Medicaid rebasement. That's a complex term, but again, we're told the Senate, we passed 3 times in the House, the Senate won't take it up unless we make a side deal and do certain things they want to do. It's sort of like the government shutdown at the federal level. Demands are made, we're not going to vote for the funding until you guys give in on this other thing. So that's where we are, and I fear it won't be resolved until after the primary that's coming up. Things that you might be interested, I know some of you have asked me about House Bill 801. I'm told that's not going anywhere, but that's not official. You've seen things probably in your time following that something's resurrected and suddenly that day it's on the calendar when you've been told that's not going to be taken up at all. But I don't think it's going anywhere, and I do suspect, having heard that the tax rate went up to 5 cents, I think that's something that's a requirement in the law, that if you want to be a town, somebody's come up with the term paper towns, and I've tried to convince my caucus, and that's just the House Republican caucus. There's also the Democrat House and the Senate Democrats, and there's really 4 different entities down there. But I'm trying to convince them, and I've brought this up in caucus, that as far as Republicans, that these paper towns are mostly red areas, and you're going after these towns, you're really helping blue areas take over the red areas. And the red areas tend to vote for us, and the blue areas tend to vote for the other side. And why should you hurt your voters support you to help the blue side? It just doesn't make much sense to me. But I think our caucus is woken up to that. Now, House Bill 801 already passed the House, so it's over in the Senate. I'm trying to think of anything else that's up that you might be interested. Sales tax. We've now gotten a little bit of sales tax for Stokesdale, but in the course of pushing that bill, I got a printout, the data for all the towns, including not in this district, but Pleasant Garden, Gibsonville, and I think they'd all be interested in knowing that under this under the, I forget what you call it now, there's a per capita and there's ad valorem. There's two ways of doing it. A slight majority of the counties in the state are per capita, meaning the towns get the tax rate in proportion to their population, instead of in proportion to their total taxes that they're charging. This is a cudgel that's been used to make towns increase taxes. And if we were per capita instead of ad valorem in Guilford, every one of these towns is being shortchanged, even the ones charging a tax, pretty substantially. And I'm thinking maybe we can look at having Guilford, it's been left up to commissioners, maybe we can look at having Guilford go to per capita, which would mean more money to the smaller towns, and maybe even Greensboro itself. But that's something I'm starting to think about maybe we should do. I know the county probably would not like that because they fight for every cent they can get. You've probably found that out before, but it really makes no sense that we're trying to, it's not the legislature's job to try to make towns and cities have higher taxes. And it seems like maybe we can get some consistency there, but that would all be for 2027. Something else I'm worried about, and you all may have heard some of the rumblings, is this revaluation that we had this year. And unless tax rates are dropped, when you do your next budget, and Greensboro and the county do their next budget, there is going to be a whopping property tax increase. And that's something I get a lot of in this district especially, is how much property taxes have gone up and how burdensome they are. And I got my statement for August for my mortgage, and August was when they had paid out of my escrow the county and city taxes. And so I just divided by 12 the total taxes they had paid, and I myself am paying $350 a month to the county for the privilege of living in the house that I own. And at what point are you paying so much that you're not really the owner of that property? You're renting it from the government, and they can come take it if you don't pay the taxes. So I think coming up in 2026, property taxes is going to be a big issue for people in this county. And the Speaker, just one of the last things that's happened, the Speaker of the House has appointed a special committee to look at whether we should do something in the area of property tax. And I didn't see my name on it, so I called him today and told him, look, Guilford County is by far the highest property tax rate. And he's going to add myself and Alan Branson to that committee. So we'll be looking at that. And if you have any questions, just let me know. We're not back in session until next May.
Thank you, John. Everybody, this guy I've known, how long have we known each other, John?
I can't remember when have we not?
15 years. This is the most, what you see is what you get with John Blust. He has never wavered, and we're lucky to have him representing us in the North Carolina House. And when I saw that they had started that committee for the property taxes, I thought that was right up your alley. I'm glad you're going to be on it. You and Alan are going to be on it. But thank you for doing what you're doing, John, and thank you for coming tonight. and I'm honored that you swore me in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Up next, the election of Mayor Pro Tempore, and I will now accept nominations for that position.
I nominate Linda Beanie.
Any other nominations? Or is there a second for Linda Bain?
I'll second that.
That was Heath Clay. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close the nomination process. All those in favor of Linda Bain becoming the next, or continuing as Mayor Pro Tem, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Congratulations. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? All right, now I don't know anything about this next one, appointment of check signers. What's that about? Who is that?
That's someone authorized to come by to sign checks.
Okay, how does that start?
So actually, I believe you and Mr. Beanie now
Okay.
are authorized as the mayor pro tem. So we would need to nominate one more
We
person.
nominate a third person.
Okay.
So in our absence, they can come back and sign checks.
Okay, I'll let you nominate.
Okay, were you, I think, Mr. Hamilton was.
Well, I
Oh,
was
are you
gonna-
going to nominate?
I was going to
Okay, all
nominate,
right, very good.
nominate and move that Kyle Stalls be appointed to the check signers.
Okay. Okay, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Is there any other nominations? Well, this is an appointment. All right, so all those in favor of Kyle Stahl being appointed as a check signer signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
You're starting off right. All right, next is the appointment of Piedmont Triad Regional Council Representative. Is there a nomination for that?
I nominate Heath Clay, and I move that we appoint him.
I'll second.
Very good. Any other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor of Heath Clay being appointed to Piedmont Triad Regional Council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Clay. Adoption of the town schedule for calendar year 2026. Where's that at? I remember seeing it. All right, is there any discussion on this? I mean, has everybody had a chance to look at any suggestions or changes?
I don't have.
None? None?
Mr. Mayor, the only thing I'd point out is, Mr. Manager, I believe February 20th, there is a training that the mayor and I will have to attend that day. The day we have this on here for a volunteer luncheon. So
Yes, sir.
February 19th and 20th. Just, I didn't know, maybe for the mayor not to be able to be there. I didn't know. I was just going to point that out to him.
We would need to move that volunteer luncheon style. And we can make a change, a proposed change to that volunteer luncheon. That will allow, that's the essentials for local government officials.
And that's in town, isn't it?
Yes, sir, the 19th and 20th, the three of us will be there.
Because me and
Do you need us to adopt it as is and then change it later, or you change it now?
I would just adopt it, Mr. Clay, with directing staff to come back with a date for you for the volunteer luncheon for y'all to approve. We'll have it at your next meeting, at your January meeting, give y'all plenty of time. Yeah. I know all of y'all attended last year, and you know how important it is to thank all of our volunteers, so we'll give you as much time as possible. We'll come back with a recommended date.
Mr. Clay, you want to make that motion?
I can. That was February?
February 19th and 20th. And we're going to scratch the 20th volunteer luncheon. They will reassign that to another day.
I move to approve the 2026 calendar and events calendar in addition to a future date change of the volunteer luncheon for February 20th.
Second?
Second.
Any seconds? Is any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're scratching the H consideration SMARTS contract. Is that right? Have we voted on, does that need to be voted?
That was the scratch.
That was a scratch.
Okay. Well, I mean, we don't have to vote on it being scratched. Everybody agrees with that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Consideration of the Bandera bid, and that's Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, you will be, staff opened sealed bids for Bandera Farms construction on November 20th, 2025. After posting the bid solicitation to EBP, which is the state government procurement portal, as well as the town website and in the Greensboro News and Record for state and local procurement law and policy. On November 20th, the bids staff received were read aloud. After conducting a thorough review of the bids, the following was the lowest qualified bidder based on the solicitation, which staff is recommending the council accept and agree to enter into contract for construction. The lowest qualified bidder was listed as Bar Construction with a base amount of $2,794,000 plus a $484,000 contingency for excavation if ordered by Pond. The additional qualifying bids that were received were by Ace Avant Concrete Construction at $3.178 million for base plus $186,800 contingency. And then Meter Construction came in at $6,085,000 for base, $2,600 for contingency. In your packets, you have the qualified bid spreadsheet, the bid forms for the 3 qualified bidders, and staff has also included a CX4 bathroom pricing sheet for a potential second bathroom because the bids did come in under. So that's something for you to consider in the future. And staff is recommending approval of Bar Construction for the contract.
Any questions for Mr. Snyder? Or any time?
May I ask a question? If we choose to add back in that second bathroom, when do we do that in the process?
So we can do that as a change order to the existing contract. We would just run it through council as a vote, and then we would go to the contractor and just let them know there's a change order, and then that would become part of the change to revised contract. So it's an easy process.
Okay. And when is that?
So we are anticipating construction to begin around February 1st. And then once that begins, then, any time after that basically is when we could go in, because they'll begin grading, excavation. The equestrian trails should be beginning grading almost right at the beginning as well. And so the bathrooms will be one of the very last things to go in, because you want to have your roads and everything in first, as well as your plumbing and other fixtures. So I expect that'll be closer to the early part of the summer, if we want to consider that. Which incidentally is right around budget.
This doesn't have trails in it, or does have trails?
So this bid is exclusive of the equestrian trails. It does include the greenway trails, however. The equestrian trails are being handled by Piedmont Land Conservancy through a separate contract. And they are administering that contract and have gone through the hiring process and vetting process for the trail install.
And this number's all inclusive, signs, everything?
So certain signs, any of the signs that were in the construction documents are included. So everything in the construction documents was included in that contract. The only things that could be potentially excluded would be any additional signs the town wanted to install, maybe to mark trails, since we don't exactly know how the trails are going to look. We haven't kind of established those, but we did meet with Alamance County Parks and got a pretty good idea of where we can order those things and what we would need for that. And then there will be things like that were taken out as part of value engineering, such as picnic table installations, trash receptacles. Those things would not be included, but everything else would be included.
And then I think I heard there was some talk of maybe a gate.
A couple of motorized gates at the entrances.
Yes, sir.
Possibly a couple of
Is that
streetlights.
included, or is that being additional?
Not included, that would be additional. There's some additional things, being the bid came in way lower than expected, which is a blessing. There's some additional things that staff's gonna come forward and recommend to y'all. We need to get pricing, electronic gates. We need to put a maintenance building, a small metal building, a concrete pad somewhere near the house we own there to keep our equipment there. the second bathroom and some other things. So we're evaluating those, and we'll come back with kind of a package with that is kind of the plan.
The only thing that I would ask is that you're talking about the second bathroom that is discussed sooner than later, because with the underground plumbing going in and whatnot, they're gonna need to know where to go for it.
That's correct, and we have already received a quote. It's $125,000 for the second bathroom building, and so we could present that in January for your consideration.
So that wouldn't change anything with this contract at all, except for $125,000 additional,
That is correct.
whether it's now or next time.
That's correct. And that's an all-inclusive quote, including delivery, installation of the bathrooms, connection to fixtures, everything's included in that quote.
Any other questions? When did you say the construction,
We anticipate February 1st.
February 1st.
What are we anticipating for completion, Justin?
No later than September 30th, 2026.
Okay, is there going to be any issue if it runs over that in terms
No, we built in kind of a little contingency. October 31st is the drop dead deadline to have everything finished. But we want to push them to September 30th so that they know that we're meeting business.
I make a motion that we approve bar construction at $2,794,000, base with $448,000 contingency for excavation.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the contract for Bandera Farm signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I would like to recognize Justin. He's been the project manager and lead on this project, and has done a phenomenal job in doing that in Chevrolet. Y'all know we had several major projects, and we divided and conquered, and just want to recognize awesome work he's done on this project and A1 to date.
I've never heard a bad word about the guy, really.
Mr. Mayor,
Very high marks. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, we need to come back around on, I think, the budget. If we moved that from 7 to 9?
Well, let's see.
Is
We
that
went
right?
from,
Give me 1 second.
we went
The budget move?
No, they were 7 down. I thought they were 7 down.
Yeah, I think that was part of the agenda. I think
Okay.
agenda
that was,
said was approved.
it was.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to consideration of financial advisor, Mr. Rollins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. So, in your packet there, you have the engagement letter for two firms for Davenport and Associates, which y'all had an educational session last week on, and from Sands Anderson, which was also in attendance. If y'all decide to vote to move forward with Laughlin School, if you decide in the purchase to finance it, I'm requesting that you go ahead and authorize to sign these letters of engagement. So if you move forward, we'll already have these vendors in place and we can start work on that with the holidays and stuff. That is the recommendation of staff.
Does this bind us, Mr. Manager, to?
Yes, sir. If you decide not to buy it, it doesn't bind you. If you decide to buy it versus finance it, it just says the letters are in place that if you decide to move forward to purchase Laughlin and to finance it, these two firms will be authorized, myself and staff, to start working with them.
No upfront money? No upfront?
Yes, sir. You don't do anything, don't spend any money.
But we don't have to have them to finance, is that correct?
You don't have to have a financial advisor, you do have to have bond counsel.
We have to have what bond?
Bond counsel.
It's just like a real estate closing on your house. You gotta have a lawyer close to buy and close, but you don't have to have a financial advisor to tell you you have the money to do it.
And of course, this is a very large deal, a large amount of money, and so the idea is the financial advisor, you have a financial advisor to help guide on such a large issue, right?
Yes, So,
Bond counsel, aren't you a bond counsel?
Yes.
And if I remember our last meeting, it was brought up, Mr. Manager, that having a financial advisor would definitely help support our financial officer who's new to the role and would guide us in this endeavor.
that is correct. And also, just as a reminder, the finance committee, we met the week before y'all met, and they unanimously voted, recommended the council use, if they do this transaction, use the financial advisor. A local government one, not your typical Edward Jones kind of guy. They're on a personal level. It's sort of like the difference in commercial real estate and regular real estate. There's a defining difference.
But she still could do it without a financial advisor. Because I know.
By the law, yes, sir.
I know there's towns around here that have done it without a financial.
That is correct. She does not have the experience, nor I. That's another reason for consideration of using the financial advisor.
Mr. Doggett, Mr. Doggett, who's done that?
I think our creatures done it.
For what kind of project?
I don't remember right off the top of the head, but I know that they've done it for, it may have been for the Redmond House, but I don't quote me on that.
I mean, that might be right. I was just trying to figure out if it was to the magnitude that this one was. I mean, I think with everything going on, I'm just hesitant to do things without an expert helping to guide, particularly with this amount of money.
Mr. Manager, may I ask a question, please? And I might be way out in front of where we are right now, but if we were to hire this council and then we come up with what we needed for the Laughlin project, I know we have several other projects that we're working on. At that same time that we're borrowing money, would it be advantageous to figure out, is there anywhere else we could borrow money at a lower rate and make more, keeping our fund balance intact? Or like a second project or a third project? Can you do that at the same time?
We can package a loan with several different initiatives in one. It would require y'all to move fast and decide what you would want in the package. And the reason I say move fast, and it's unfortunate about this, but the Board of Education is holding our feet to the fire to get this done.
Right.
As we've had individual discussions about that. But it is a possibility for that to happen. Another question that I posed on the call with Davenport Associates and the town attorney was on there and our finance officer, right now, if we were to take a portion of our fund balance and lock it in the CDs, we can get over 4% for anywhere from 3 to 5 years. And so they think, Davenport Associates, based on our credit worthiness and looking at us at Snapshot, we will get a loan at 4% or less. So basically, we would be borrowing money for 3 to 5 years, no cost. Because we're making money on our money and we're borrowing at the same rate. So that's a possibility. And they said, absolutely. But we would need to move to tie up those funds in our fund balance or a portion of it to do that. So say we took $2 million and we put it in a CD for 5 years and we got 4% and we borrowed 4% for 5 years, that money's not costing us anything. If that makes sense to folks.
But it ties it up for 5 years.
That $2 million. Well, I mean, we can still get it out, but there would be a penalty just like any other CD. And that's one of the reasons I'm advocating for the financial advisor. One is we don't have the staff experience for this type of project, but also they have these innovative ways to help us make money. And y'all saw from the list of all the counties and towns, I mean, there was almost 100 or more they've helped in the state. I mean, they know what they're doing, and they take care of Guilford County and Greensboro, and that says a lot.
Mr. Doggett, with that in mind, and I'm just trying to get a feel because I want to make sure I make the right decision too. With what he said in mind, what you've heard so far, it sounds like you might be leaning against it. Mm-hmm. Would you give us some reasons why?
I'm concerned about the cost. I mean, we just did a budget amendment, taking money out of the fund balance to cover our operating costs. we didn't have to make our budget balance this year, we already borrowed money out of the fund balance to make it work. It just seems like we keep taking and taking and taking, and I think that this would, if we pass like a reimbursement resolution, if we got the term right, that gives Jim time to work through this to where we could either finance it or we could pay for it outright. And it would save us over $100,000.
The problem with that is, if I could add to that, is we just don't have the time. We have an offer out there that we either have to accept or decline. And the Board of Education is expecting us to move forward quite quickly. So I don't getting Jim up to speed in a few weeks on something this huge, I don't think is a fair assessment for her.
But if I heard the financial guy correctly, he couldn't make the deadline. We were going to have to put the money up front from the fund balance anyhow and do the reimbursement resolution.
Do you want me to speak to this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think it is still possible. First, just for some context, y'all have an offer out on Laughlin that has been accepted. Y'all have not signed a purchase agreement yet. So the closing timeline has not been set. So depending on what that is, you may be in a situation where you're not able to get financing as quickly. We don't know that will necessarily be the case. Could you pay cash for it? And could you issue a reimbursement resolution, pay cash for it, and then reimburse yourself later for financing? If that is the question, the answer is yes. Do you have another question for me before I stop talking about that?
If I heard you correctly.
Yes.
There's a possibility we've got to do that anyways. No matter which direction, we would have to do the reimbursement resolution.
So your financial advisors Davenport talked about this a little bit. Paul, who is another bond counsel at my firm, I think he touched on this a little bit. You'll be advised to do a reimbursement resolution regardless, which will give you the ability to recoup expenditures after that date and some for a back-looking window. And those expenditures could be anything related to the project. And just because you do a reimbursement resolution does not mean you ever have to spend a dime to reimburse yourself. That's something that any good bond counsel will recommend you do so that you can, if you get outside of the window, you can recoup cost.
So Mr. Doggett, you think we could do it without any missteps? Because again, with this amount of money, and from what I understood, the goal was to decrease the amount of interest that we're paying out by offsetting it. And when one of my kids' teeth pulled, I go to the dentist, I don't do it myself. It's like the same thing with a lawyer. The person who represents himself is not going to be as good as an actual attorney that does it. I'm just worried that if we try to do all this ourselves, a misstep would carry with it a huge cost that would be greater than the amount that we're paying them. You don't think that would happen?
I've got faith in the people that Twitter has hired.
I've got faith in him too, but he's telling me himself, and he has said himself that this is a large thing that there's not a lot of experience with the staff for. So we have our own manager telling us that he recommends that we have this assistance help his staff. That's why I'm a little bit nervous about it. I have a lot of faith in our staff for sure, but when people come to me about things, I definitely direct them in different areas to different people when it's an area I'm not too familiar with.
May I add to that?
Yeah.
Miss Kelly stated at our last meeting that she would like for them to be on board, that she would like the help because she feels she is not seasoned in this.
Okay. So the manager and our financial staff have suggested that they would like to have experts helping this.
Was there any additional details or advice given from our finance committee, Mr. Manager?
Just that we solicit and use a financial advisor if y'all move forward with this transaction. And
Say that again, I'm sorry.
just that if y'all move forward with this transaction, that we solicit and use a financial advisor to help us with this transaction. That was unanimous by the finance committee. The mayor was there during that vote, after thorough discussion. And I'll just point out too, as big as Guilford County is, as big as Greensboro is, they have a very large financial department. And I appreciate the confidence, Mr. Doggett, I really do. But they use Davenport, and they certainly have the staff and depth to handle big projects. That's one of the things about being a small government, we just don't have staff for every little thing. So I appreciate the vote of confidence, but if I said I could do it, I would do it, but not on this one. I don't want to take any chances.
Then based upon the recommendation of the manager, the recommendation of the finance officer, and from the finance committee, I move to approve the Davenport Sands Anderson Consulting Service Agreement as presented.
Can I ask one question before that?
Yeah.
I'll go right back to that. When was the hard stop on this? When do we have to tell Jill at the Board of Election, or Board of Education, that we have to have everything in place? I mean, when's the hard stop on that?
I mean, my expectation is that you'll have a purchase agreement to approve in January, so very quickly.
Like at our next meeting in January?
Yes.
Okay. But what if we don't? When is their hard stop? If I put you on the spot, I'm sorry, do you have any idea when that might be?
No, they have given us some flexibility to see how you want to adjust your closing timeline based on whether or not you're going to pay cash for it or financing. Obviously, paying cash for it when you have that in your reserves is something you could do fairly quickly. There is a timeline to financing about at least 3 months, depending on the local government schedule, filling out an application and things like that.
And as long as they see that happen, they're okay with it. You had told
I
us.
can't speak for the Board of Education or any contract terms that we've negotiated in closed session.
And I know you told us this before. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I second the motion on the table.
Is there any discussion?
Just to walk through this one more time for a vote. What we are currently voting on is we are empowering our town staff to use Davenport if this transaction moves forward. We are not entering into a financial obligation with Davenport.
You're authorizing me to use that.
You're authorizing.
If you all decide to move forward, once we have the contract offer signed by the Board of Education, and you approve that, then, and you say we want to finance it, that will trigger me to start the money spending, if you will.
And that money will start spending, one, if we elect not to purchase it outright, if we elect to finance in lieu of that, and also if we elect prior to that, if we choose to purchase it, period.
If we decide to spend cash, no money spent,
Right.
other than the transaction. There will be some transaction fees with the attorney.
And if we decide simply not to buy it, then no money spent.
That's correct.
Okay, so what we're looking at is if we do finance it, we're looking at financing $2.2 million. If we don't use Davenport, we're looking at a $2.2 million purchase without any support from them, or if you factor in the cost of using Davenport, a $2.3 million expenditure using them to get us there with their guidance. And I will say, Mr. Rollins and typically errs on the side of confidence. He's more than willing to tell you if he's confident in his ability to do something or not. So if he's saying that we need assistance, that counts for a lot. And I can also tell you, based on a brief conversation with Ms. Kelly, she would feel much more comfortable having Davenport on board. She expressed that to me really clearly. Okay, but I just wanted to clear that up, that we are not voting on a financial obligation.
Was there anything you said that you wanted to speak about? Because I felt
Oh, I just wanted to make a clarification that on your motion, that it's two different agreements, one with Davenport and one with Sands Anderson. You can
Bond
approve,
council one.
yes, you can approve both or one or the other. But I think the motion needs to be clear whether you're approving
Want to amend your motion to
Sands Anderson would be the bond counsel, Davenport is the financial advisor, and my motion include both.
Is that okay on your second?
Yeah, I second that.
Any discussion?
I have one question. Just out of curiosity, from the finance committee, when they were discussing things, did they have a feel for a combination of cash and financing, a percentage either way?
They wanted, if we started to move forward, they wanted a 5-year projection of operating and capital expenses the best we could on that as a staff, to bring back to them to help advise y'all as a council. But they did not make any definitive decision on whether half and half and half and half. I know I shared earlier, just a reminder, if we're going to get it, I am an advocate for financing it, because I think the way to get this project to where the vision that I've been hearing is that there's going to be a lot of grants and foundations that want to help with this project. And when you're in the grant world, which I do have a lot of experience, there's a lot of matches. Some of those are in kind by just us doing the work, and some of them are pure out cash matches. And sometimes you can match grant to grant, but we need to have that mobility to be able to leverage dollars. And if we take a lot out of our fund balance, that may hamper us from getting grant funds later on. Did that answer your question, Madam Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, sir.
The way I remember it, it was discussed, but they were pretty much, I think they were unanimous, suggesting or that we go with the financial advisors. So, but it was discussed.
I was just curious.
Sure,
if
yeah.
They had a percentage like a 80-20 or.
I don't think it was 80-20, it's sort of like a half and half kind of thing, but yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor of Mr. Hamilton's motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, with Mr. Doggett opposing, the motion passes. Next is consideration of public services contract. Mr. Rollins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. So one thing I did have confidence in is that we could get trash service for less money. And we did an RFP for trash services. We had 4 responding companies to respond. We had a scoring committee that met that day, which was the finance officer. I asked Councilman Clay and Councilman Hamilton to help with the scoring. We disqualified one of the bidders because they did not submit the information that was requested in the bid, but the other 3 were qualified. The lowest bidder was our current provider, which is Republic Services. We did check references at the time the scoring committee did, and they unanimously recommended for me to recommend to y'all that we use Republic Services. Republic Services, our current rate right now every quarter is, and that's in this year, there's going to be a CPI, would have been a CPI index in January, but currently it's $71.39 a quarter. That's for 1 can every week, regular trash, and recycling every other week. Second cans cost more, but that's what most people have is that. The bid came in at $65.25. Now, in these bids, I asked for 2 different things in the proposal. I asked for direct billing and summary billing. Direct billing means the provider directly bills the citizen like they're currently doing. And summary billing means that they bill us and we bill the citizens. So summary billing is what they came in at $65.25, and that is the contract that I'm recommending that you all approve to start effective January 1. We'll talk about rates after you accept the contractor, but that is the bid that came in, and they were the lowest bidder. We did check references. And it's a really good smooth transition because we have the same company we've got now.
Mr. Manager, what was the bid for them doing the complete service, which includes the administration of billing themselves?
$69.75.
But that's still lower than what our citizens currently paying today?
Yes, sir, that is correct. So it's a win-win for the citizens, because they're gonna be paying less for their trash than they currently are paying.
Unless they want to pay more.
Yes, sir.
Keith, you get me, man. Anybody else? Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion
Yes, sir.
that we move to approve the Republic Service contract as presented.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
Is this approving 6825?
No, sir, that's the next item on y'all's agenda, is we'll talk about rates. This is just approving that we will use Republic Services for the next 3 years with an option of 2 years after that.
Mr. Stahl? No? Anybody else?
No, sir.
All right, therefore, in discussion, all those in favor of Mr. Clay's motion to approve the consideration of Republic Services contract, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. L would be adoption of solid waste rates. Again, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. So now that you've approved the contract, we need you to set the rates for the future. As I just stated, the contract came in, which you just approved, is $65.25, but that is summary billing where they send the town the bill for their services. So we need to mail out bills and ramp up for that. It is my recommendation that you set the rate at $68.25. That's $3 more than what they're actually charging us in the contract, obviously. But what does that cover? That covers anticipating mailing every citizen we have that has an account, which is about 4,000 accounts, a letter every quarter with postage, with envelopes, with printing, with that. Also, it builds just a little bit of contingency for the following 3 things. Number 1 is we don't know if the U.S. Postal Service is going to rate postage rates. And I don't want to come back to y'all mid-year and say, hey, we need to go up on the trash bills because the Postal Service come up. Number 2 is built in the contract is the CPI index, which we've been getting every year from Republic and is standard in the trash industry. I had it in my last town, I was town manager. Every December they send you a thing and say, hey, trash bills are going up X. That CPI index over the last 10 years has averaged 3%. And the last thing is there's a contingency in there for anybody that doesn't pay their bills. Now, currently, we're using Republic, so we have really good track record, or records for that. We have less than 0.5% of people that don't pay their bills. So that would cover those people that doesn't pay their bills. We still have to pay Republic Services. You'll notice also in the rate sheet that there is late fees built in of $2.50 a week, and we're only going to let them go 45 days before we pick up their can. It is my suspicion that most people in Summerfield are not going to want to drive to take their trash off to a distance. A lot of people don't even want to take it to the end of the driveway. So I don't think we're going to have many delinquent accounts, but in the case we do, we do. You have the prerogative in the future to lower this rate if things go better, but that is my recommendation of $68.25. Now that is a paper bill. As an incentive, we're recommending we drop that $1 a quarter to $67.25 if people sign up for electronic billing, paperless billing, so they would get an electronic bill every quarter. So the way the system works, when we hit print in the billing software to print out the paper copies, those that have an email with us, have signed up, they will automatically get their bill. On top of that, in the rates is there's the yearly rate, I think it's $268. They could pay a year at a time, they would still get the quarterly discount, they would still get, the bill would show 0, they would still get electronic newsletter. We had talked about putting a newsletter in there. The raise in the billing rates, I want to make this clear, does not pay for the newsletter. okay? We're not charging people for trash to send the newsletter, I want to make that clear. But they would get it in the same envelope. We're leveraging our opportunity with the same envelope to put a newsletter in there quarterly. Questions about the rates? As I see it, it's a win-win for the citizens. They're saving a lot more money. I mean, if they get electronic billing, $67.25 a quarter, and they're currently paying $71.39. We're doing some things right as a town.
I've honestly had the most phone calls over this than I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yes, people are upset over this. Yeah.
What is their concern? You
That
mind asking?
we're upcharging them from what Republic is charging us. And they feel like that our taxes were just doubled, almost doubled. And it was to offer services, and now they feel like they're being taxed again by paying an upcharge on Republic's services.
Even though they're actually going to be paying less? Has that been explained to them?
But Republic is paying, we're paying Republic 65. We're turning around and paying Republic, they're paying 68, so they feel like they're being taxed twice.
Okay.
I'm kind of, I'm really impressed with the work you did on this, town manager. I disagree with what Mr. Doggett is saying. This is a double win for our citizens. They're paying $71.39 is what you said, and trying to do some math. If in what you said earlier at $69.75, that's with them doing the complete service and admin billing. At $69.75, that's a $1.64 reduction. That's close to a 2.5% reduction, regardless. If we just approve the contract without us doing any type of summary billing, so that's an automatic decline. We're also doing another decline if we do $68.25. That's it, and even less if it's paperless at $67.25. That's a 4 to 5% decline according to my quick little math here. Both of those are a decline in what I even pay for trash, what we all pay. This has good written all over. I don't see why would we not do the summary billing, which is going to reduce their overall from $69.75 to $68.25 or $67.25. Seems like a very easy decision for us.
And if I might add, Mr. Blake, thank you for the kind comments. This also qualifies for a service towards House Bill 801 if it does move forward. It does count for a service, which was y'all's goal that you expressed and put me on a mission this last summer for, is to protect the charter with additional services at the lowest cost possible.
And this, again, just taking notes from everything you've said so far, if we don't do the quarterly, including potentially paperless billing ourselves, then their overall quarterly rate would be higher. So at $69.75 is them doing the full service. With us doing it, it's at $68.25 or $67.25.
Yes, sir.
So if we don't do this, we're charging them more.
They would be charged more by the trash company.
Okay.
Actually, I agree with both Councilman Clay and Councilman Doggett. So everything he said, I think, is right. But Mr. Doggett, you were saying that that's what people's telling you, right? They were ticked off about it. So, yeah, I think it's our job to go out to find somebody to educate people and to let them know that, the difference there is that we are taking on that work. And so that's why Republic's not charging, and we're taking on that workload and charging at a cheaper rate than the public would be charging. So we're doing the work to lessens the cost for them, and also gives us the added benefit of having a service for town. So I think it does help in every column. It's just our responsibility, all of us, to make sure that we explain that to people, that we're not overcharging in any kind of way, that we're doing work for them at a cheaper rate than the public would be, in order to make that something that they can have for cheaper, as well as something the town can provide as a service.
Any more discussion?
Mr. Manager, how many, what do you think the man-hour commitment will be for us bringing this in-house for our staff?
Everything's automated, Mr. Sauls. So what happens is the biggest man hour is getting the account database into our billing software. That is built in with our billing software, so we have to take the data from Republic and give it to Black Mountain. That's the name of our financial software company, and they will put it in. And then, once it's put in, basically every quarter, it's just a matter of hitting a button and it prints. All the people that want a paper bill, and all the people who want electronically, it will automatically go. We're using an automatic stuffer, so it's a matter of somebody just standing there making sure the machine don't stuff, which will take a couple of hours. And we have an automatic postage thing running through the postage machine and then taking it to the post office. So less than 8 hours.
Thank you, Councilman Stahl. That's a really good point that you made too, is that taking on the administrative billing not only lowers the overall citizen rate, but they get communication from a newsletter from our town back to them individually. Great.
It allows y'all as council and us as staff to send out a message quarterly about upcoming events, things you want them to know about. Like for instance, in my manager's report, I'm going to talk about the comp land use plan survey and when that's going to be opened up to the public to start. That's still going to be going on when our first newsletter goes out. And so that will be one of the announcements. Hey, participate. You know, we want your public input on the future land use comp of Summerfield. That would be the types of things in that newsletter.
Any more? Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to move to approve the solid waste rates as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of adoption of the solid waste rates, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. What was that? Is that Energy Committee? What was that?
That's the appointment of the interview committee.
Energy, okay. All right. Who is carrying that? Is that you, Howard?
What's that?
Who's carrying that? You?
Well, let's just request to have somebody nominated to be on the appointment of interview.
Okay, all right. Well, who is it? Who's making it?
I would like
Is that
to,
you? Okay.
yeah, I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor, to appoint Councilman Hamilton to the appointing committee.
I'll second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Hamilton. N would be a public information officer. Who is going to carry that forward? I guess that's, hang on, let me find it here.
It was originally 7 weeks.
Does anybody have it?
Yeah, it's 70.
It's 70, okay. All right. And that is council direction and direction. Approve the public information officer addendum to the social media policy as seen below. Town designates a government public information officer, PIO, to the extent to which officials or employees are authorized or not authorized to speak on behalf of the government via social media as part of their duties. The PIO plays a crucial role in managing communication between government agencies and the public. The town council delegates the town manager as the PIO with the authority to exercise such information sharing and public liaison authorities as may be necessary to carry out assigned functional responsibilities. The PIO is responsible for creating and disseminating information to the public and media, This includes official town press releases, social media updates, and public announcements. Coordinates with the town council and various agencies to deliver consistent messaging to ensure that public information is accessible to all individuals. Monitoring, tracking, and ensuring compliance with the town's website and social media platforms. It is their responsibility to post accurate content on the town's website and social media accounts, and as an administrator, they control access to the accounts, maintain security, and appropriate transfer as warranted. The PIO and authorized delegates coordinate a comprehensive effort to inform the public, including goals, plans, activities, and announcements through approved media outlets. Delegates to the PIO must complete training before being granted access and posting on the town's website and social media accounts. Providing timely and accurate information assures public safety and awareness. Error or inaccuracy in official communication should be directed to the PIO. And I guess at this point, we need a nomination to the person.
Well, this is
Oh,
not.
this will be,
This is not nominated. This is just a discussion.
discussion, okay.
Just to make sure I understand it too, this is an addendum to the social media policy, so it's regarding the town's social media accounts. So this is just talking about discussing who can or cannot in relation to the town's social media accounts. But as far as us individually, there's nothing stopping any of us from giving official press releases from councilmen, from mayor, and so forth. This is just regarding the social media accounts that the town holds. Is that right?
Yeah, Ms. Hamilton, that's how I interpret it also.
Without, Miss Attorney, without giving any advice here at the table, and I know that this is something that's been moved around a little bit, so you may not have expected it. Is there anything that you need to tell us, maybe in closed session, about any advice about this before we do it? Or have you had a chance to look at it? If you haven't had a chance to look at this one, I understand because we've moved around a little bit.
I've looked at the language that is in your packet, and I've reviewed it for consistency with your policy direction on appointing a PIO.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean as far as legal implications that it might have for us that we need to have thought of or might need to know about.
No.
Okay. That's all I needed to hear.
If I'm understanding the question correctly,
Yeah.
my answer is no.
Didn't know if anything popped up like a red flag that, so deals with social media policy and no concern from you.
Anything else?
Do you want to go up and down?
Actually, if I'm reading this correct, aren't you already the public information officer? You're not.
Yes, sir, not official.
So what we're doing is, who was it before?
We don't have.
We don't have one.
Yeah.
Okay. Shows how much I know. All right.
And Mr. Mayor, if I could just a little history on that. One of the reasons to look to do the manager is y'all control the manager. So you can control a lot of the narrative, and that's why one of y'all came forward with this to make the manager the PIO. You can't make an employee that because the employees work for me under our form of government. So you're making the manager the PIO to direct messaging based on y'all's consensus of the board on any issue in the future.
Hasn't this come up in the past too?
Yes,
this
sir.
topic?
Several times since I've been here in.
That's what I thought.
14
Even when
months.
you first got here, that was a topic of, sure, we're just getting around to closing it out.
And it's my understanding historically, there's always been sort of a question about who has access to the social media accounts, and there's been a little bit of discussion about that over the course of the last several years. So let's say the mayor wants to put out a press release. There's nothing that stops you from putting out a press release as far as the town website, though, without having, I mean, it has to be him that would put it on the town
The
website.
town website,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that it would be the town manager because town council members come and go, mayors come and go. And generally, managers stay around a little
I
longer.
like the way you said that.
Well, I've been around a while, but that's usually the case. And the safeguard in this is that you are an employee, you serve the discretion of the council. So if we don't like what you're putting out there, we can always, okay. Ms. Devaney?
I'll make a motion to approve the.
Is there any other discussion?
No.
Y'all good down there? Okay, all right, sorry.
That's okay. I'll make the motion to approve the public information officer addendum to the social media policy as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who was that?
Me.
Okay, okay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the appointment passes. Congratulations, I think. Mr. Rowan. All right, let's see where we're at here. I think that was it. Oh, we got another one? Council reports and updates, council comments. Who's first? You want to go down? Manager first, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I just have a few things for council. Y'all got a really in-depth report about Bandera. I'm thrilled that it's moving forward, and A and Y, we have a few more, we have just a few easements that we're talking with people about on getting those permanent easements and communicating with those people. And so that's moving along nicely too. The water, we're still in the permitting process. That usually takes a couple of months, usually about 3 months or so. We will start approaching those 18 landowners for those utility easements after the first of the year in January for that one. The big news probably on my manager's report is the comp land use plan. Mr. Snyder informed me today that the survey, the public input survey with the questions is about 98% done. He's doing some reviewing, and we anticipate to release that. And we'll be doing a splash on news media. We'll be doing a splash on our town website and trying to put it out there and putting flyers up and those types of things. The survey will be open December 15th for 60 days. So we really need y'all's help in getting citizens. This is one of their avenues, not their only avenue, but one of their avenues. If they can't come to the meetings, they can't have conversations with you, to please fill out the survey and send it back to us. The bigger the sampling, the more informed decisions you all will be able to make. So I'm charging you all with really telling your friends and neighbors, and them telling their friends and neighbors, and your centers of influence, please fill out this survey if you're a citizen. Because this will guide that document for the land use for the next 5 to 10 years. If we grow really quick, 5 years. If we grow moderately, around 10 years. But I cannot overstate how important it is. There will also be public input hearings and sessions for the public, multiple ones of those, and those will start after the first year, and we'll have some dates in January for you when we anticipate those. So this is the first step, so we're really excited about that. I kind of announced that last month that it would come out this month, and we've been able to hold to that. And again, that's credit to Justin, and he's working with In-Focus Planning and really pushing this project along for that. That is basically my update. I'll entertain any questions on anything else. Next month, Jim will be back to do your quarterly update on finances, which is also the biannual. She and I talked about that today. Things are still looking good. We've saved, and I've heard the public's concern about we had to dip in the fund balance to balance the budget. Y'all allocated $13,000 to balance the budget. That is true. However, there's several areas that we're way under budget. We don't anticipate spending all those line items. So I think we're going to be in good shape at the end of the year. I will tell you our investments are outperforming what we projected as a staff. We project conservatively, and we're doing better than what we thought. So that's going to help things too. There's a lot of positive. You'll see that next month. You're going to continue to get that quarterly report. That is something that Jen and I want to, I should say Ms. Kelly, want to do for you all, because the number one thing to get towns in trouble is finances. And y'all not knowing what's being spent. And I mean, there's several examples in the news media you can look at yourselves. Any questions on anything?
Thank you, Mr. Rowland.
The 5-year plan that the Finance Committee, is that in the works, or that they wanted the 5-year?
Yes, sir.
I forgot what they called it. I mean, how is that going to work?
They wanted projected cash flow and capital expenses.
There you go. How is that going to work out?
We've already started. I've met the Parks and Recreation Maintenance Director and his maintenance supervisor. Actually, we have a meeting tomorrow. I think senior staff and I, senior staff, when I refer to that, is Justin and Jen and myself are going to meet with Gooch and Jeff Bumpkin and start talking about expenses on that. We've already started talking about if we do Laughlin, what kind of equipment we're going to need, how much time we're going to be able to be there. But to be quite honest, until we get in the building and really get to look at it in depth, we don't know. It'll be later in the budget season before we'll know that. Hopefully we'll close on it by March, we can get in there and we can look at it and we can give you a projection. But we started the process to answer your question.
Well,
Mr. Mayor, a question. Mr. Rollins, the survey, does it have the ability to ensure that it's Summerfield residents that's filling out that survey?
I don't think so. I think anybody could fill it out. I mean, certainly we're going to ask their address and that type of information. But if somebody wants to spend time going on a survey just to fill out information, so it will ask their name and address. So there will be some type of check and balance to it. But if somebody wanted to be malicious, it would be hard to stop them. Is that fair to say, Justin?
Yeah, the first question is, do you reside within the town of Summerfield? So as long as they're honest, I mean, we'll know who it is.
But there is an area to put in their address?
I believe it's very good. No, sir.
anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Manager.
I do have.
Oh, okay, more.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just so council is aware, Mr. Rollins, you have been attending the TAC MPO committee and representing the town over the past several months?
Last year, yes, sir.
Last year, okay, good.
It's about every other month. In fact, I just got the invites for the next year. They're usually on Monday afternoons.
Okay. This one, and anything that comes out of those, you're letting us know in your
Absolutely.
weekly updates?
Yes, sir. As y'all's representative, anything that staff goes to, we feel is pertinent, you need to know, we're going to communicate that to you. Just like I would have been going to the Piedmont Triad Regional Council of Governments, meeting with Councilman Robinson when she was on the council, and if she couldn't go, then if there was anything relevant, we would share it with you.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
That's part of our job, is to represent y'all and bring back the information.
Doggett? Thank you, Mr. Manager. Mr. Stalls? Ms. Anderson, do you have anything? Okay. Mr. Stall? Mr. Hamilton?
Well, as far as comments go, I'll say that this was Councilwoman Robinson, and I'm going to say she was a very authentic person. I'm really going to miss her. I just wanted to make sure I said that before this was over. You know, we've got a council that's been sworn in today, both Mr. Stalls and Mr. Doggett. And Mr. Stalls, I think you've got a great background, so I'm really looking forward to working with you. Mr. Doggett, you know, we've been at odds on a lot of things. Hopefully we can find some common ground over the next year and work on communication and get some ideas together on these things. You know, 2023 when I came in, man, it was hot. It was a really hard thing, and I think Mr. Clay, he was new with me too. 2024, there was no let up. I mean, it was pedal to the metal. It was as hard as could be. I think much worse than we had imagined. It was a real challenge. 25, I mean, I think it was the same thing this year. It rolled into the year. It was a hard year. But starting this new year, this is the last meeting of the year. I mean, I really do. I think things are looking a lot better. I'm excited. I think we're going to have a very, very cordial council, honestly, over the next year, and I'm excited about that. So I just want to say I'm happy that we're all here and happy that we're moving forward.
Mr. Vane?
Ditto.
Mr. Black?
I'm good. Looking forward to our strategic planning coming up, our other budget retreats. We got a lot of some amazing awesome thing, 2026, a lot of projects to get to completion. We got a comp plan, land lease plan, a lot of opportunity for the community and citizens to provide their input and feedback. I'm just really looking forward to this upcoming year.
Mr. Doggett?
I'm gonna do you like Colin did.
I just want to say, again, that I appreciate the opportunity to be y'all's mayor. I appreciate your patience with me getting this thing going. I know I mangled the agenda, so far. I don't think I've done a error-free agenda yet, but that's on the horizon. Hang in there with me. It's going to happen. Every time somebody somebody says, "Why did you run for mayor?" Those people are crazy out there in Summerfield.
You told me you're crazy too.
I said, yeah, pretty much. I said, yeah. The next thing that comes out of their mouth is, we're looking to buy a house up there.
Yeah.
The very next thing that comes out of their mouth is that we're looking to buy a house up there. We're scrimping, saving, just like me and Brenda did. They're scrimping and saving to come move out here. And I said, that's why I'm doing it. There's great people. We might disagree, sometimes very heatedly. Go along with Mr. Hamilton's comment. I'm going to try my best to bring, civility to the council during our meetings. There will be civility during our meetings. There will be. And that's at least the very least I can do. And but I'm looking forward to the next 2 years. And thank you again for coming out tonight. And I hope everybody has before I say that, I want to thank Ms. Kim Phillips in the back there. She's a representative for Trevick. And she stuck through the meeting so far. We're going into closed session here, so I don't know if you'll be out when we come out, but thank you for coming out and sticking with us so far. And with that being said, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I'm looking forward to a very calm, prosperous New Year. So thank y'all for coming out, and that's my comments. I will entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to go into closed session to consult with an attorney and to preserve the attorney-client privilege and/or discuss real property acquisition and employment contracts and/or discuss personnel matters.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any, I guess, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is briefly adjourned. We're going into closed session.
Oh, no,
Come back
sorry.
in session.
I'll make a motion to come back into session, and I certify that everything, that we talked about everything, that was on the, I'm looking at the wrong thing, it's instead of one word, in closed session, consult with an attorney, discuss real property, discuss personnel matters.
I second that.
That would be Heath.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of coming back into session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are now back in session.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Doggett has made a motion that we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We are now adjourned.
Who gets the second?
Jonathan.
Oh.
Thank
You what?
Did you please vote?